Howdy. Long time no see. You can probably hear my washer and dryer in the background, and I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, I haven't filmed a booktube video since early October or late November, maybe? Right? Maybe it was longer than that. Wow. But yeah, I've been gone for a while. I had been posting pretty frequently on booktube, or I'm sorry, not booktube, on Bookstagram, but I've taken a little bit of a break from it as well. I think the last time I was really I think the last time that I was really active on there was maybe December, and it is now January. Yeah, it's 2023. Yeah, I am sure it's been mentioned in past videos of mine, but during the year of 2022, I had a really rough time. My physical health isn't that great right now. Since early July, I haven't been able to work a full 40-hour work week. I normally, at least once a week, have to leave halfway through the day because of how severe my fatigue and brain fog is, and also like the severe amount of like pain I'm in as well. Yeah, and so I've just been really struggling with that, and these past couple of months I've also been really struggling with my previous doctor's office and just like the healthcare system in general. And I even recently had to switch to like a different primary care doctor. But yeah, all that to say that, like, even though I haven't been physically doing very well, my work has been very supportive. And yeah, I'm not like, what's the term? In danger of losing my job, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and I'm just currently in the process of trying to figure out when the next time I can get into a doctor's office. But yeah, I didn't have any energy to do much of anything at all. Anybody who has like pretty severe chronic illness, like, you know that we all want to do a lot of things, but realistically we don't have enough spoons in the day to do all of that. So most days I come home and I am in bed by 7:30 p.m. because I hurt. But yeah, of course, a lot of really amazing things happened last year too. Like, my partner and I bought a freaking house, which is insane because of how bad the market is where we live. Everywhere, I think, around the US right now is having like a housing crisis anyway. But yeah, we were able to buy a freaking house. And I'm just so grateful of all the things that I have. And I'm grateful for, you know, my family and my friends. And really another major thing that happened this year that's been kind of difficult to deal with, but I'm really grateful that it happened, is that I was officially diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder just a couple months ago, back in September. And yeah, I'm 29 now, but being 28 years old and just figuring out that you have autism has been kind of weird. I've been dealing with a lot of feelings of like grief, and that's been also really hard to navigate and talk about because it's really hard to explain like the feelings that I'm experiencing, or just, I don't know how to put it into words. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of like introspection. I've been reading quite a bit of nonfiction books. I recently read these 3 books that were all about autism, and they were really cool. Maybe one day I'll do a video just about like nonfiction books in ASD. But, yeah. I don't know what else to say. I just feel like this intro, I had to, like, explain where I was gone. Not that a ton of people watch my videos, or not that I have a ton of subscribers or anything like that. But, yeah, I don't know. This is just kind of a hobby of mine, too. So I never want to put the pressure on myself of having to stick to a schedule. So I'm sure in the future there will come a time where I end up taking a couple months break again. And I guess that's okay. I'm just grateful for the people that do, you know, stick around or just happen to stumble upon my videos and they watch them. So, to be completely transparent, I am and have been posting on another social media site. And I was kind of nervous to talk about this for like Bookstagram and Booktube content because I think I will come across, or what am I trying to say? I have come across, you know, things within the bookish online community that are very like, you know, anti-drugs and alcohol, things like that, which is like understandable. But I live in Oklahoma and we have legal cannabis use here for medical patients, and I'm a legal patient. And yeah, I started doing some content for WeedTube. So yeah, but I never bothered mentioning it because I'm obviously wanting to keep that kind of stuff like very separate because of the stigma behind cannabis use. Obviously, if you are not 21 years of age or older, and if you don't live in a state that has legal, medical, and recreational marijuana use, then you shouldn't even be like watching or consuming weed content, in my opinion. So like, that is all to say that like, if anybody's interested, I have been posting stuff, including videos, over there, and that is in the description. And yeah, since I've been doing that type of content for fun as a side hobby, because again, my health has been so bad, and medical cannabis has been really, really helpful for me these past several months. Yeah, I was making content over there, and it made me realize how much I miss making booktube videos. What's weird though is that I don't actually watch a ton of booktube anymore. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, I don't even watch booktube content very often, but I do really miss filming like reading vlogs and talking about the books that I'm reading. So yeah, I kind of just like want to get back into it. This is basically just like a trial video for me. This vlog is probably going to be really laid back, also because I'm currently in a really bad reading slump. I read some amazing Krampus monster romances during the month of December, and I don't know why, but I guess that put me in a reading slump. And then also New Year's happened. I'm actually very anti-New Year's. That's a whole other topic for another video. And yeah, I just didn't feel like doing anything. I feel like humans just need to hibernate during that time, and that's basically what I did besides going to work when I could. But yeah, I want to try getting back into reading to fight this reading slump, and I've decided to just film a little silly, goofy time reading vlog. This will be, I think this is going to be a themed reading vlog. So, today is Sunday. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I got some like fancy makeup on. I'm kind of experimenting with stuff. I never wear makeup except on the weekends. But yeah, I decided to just play around with makeup because my dad and my friend Ryan are coming over to play D&D. And me and my partner are super excited. Also because we are going to start a campaign that my dad is DMing, and my partner's been DMing for a while, so he's really excited because he gets to actually play. And we are doing Spelljammer, which Spelljammer is basically like D&D but in space. So it's like sci-fi fantasy, and I am so excited. So to fit the theme, I thought that depending on my mood, because I am a very, very sticky mood reader, I'm going to read either alien romance or maybe some YA fantasy romance or adult fantasy romance. Young adult science fiction. I don't know. It's going to be in that general theme because like I'm kind of in a fantasy mood because I've been researching a lot of D&D stuff, but obviously I also love space and alien romances, and I'm playing a Gith wild magic sorcerer that wanders around space. So yeah, I want to read some alien romance. But yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I don't know if I am going to start reading today or not because I kind of want to prepare for our campaign, and I also want to like maybe bake today or cook some yummy food for everyone because they're not coming over until 3, and I think it's only like 10 o'clock right now. But yeah, I will just check back in with you guys later whenever I have some reading updates. Howdy. Y'all, I am so tired. Also, is this a weekly reading vlog or is it a weekly wrap up? I don't really know. I honestly haven't gotten a lot of footage. In typical fashion, I had a pretty bad flare up on Tuesday. I had trouble just like walking around and doing typical things Tuesday morning. So I had to miss work, and yeah, I'm like super kind of like brain foggy today from it. But yeah, so I haven't got a ton of footage, and I'm sorry about that. But I did get some reading done. And yeah, I read the 2 books that I had planned on reading anyway, so that's cool. So yeah, I'm gonna start with Barbarian Alien by Ruby Dixon. I was super looking forward to reading this. This is also like the special edition cover from Barnes and Noble, and it's so freaking gorgeous. And y'all, I got so pissed off reading this. Okay. Yeah, I did not like this. And I was very disappointed by it. I actually DNF'd this at around like 80%. I kind of sort of DNF'd it, kind of didn't. Basically, I, got on my Kindle and I tried to like browse really fast and like speed read so I could figure out what happened exactly at the end. But honestly, the events that happened in this book made me so mad that I didn't care how it ended because I knew it would have an HEA anyways. So yeah. This is the second book in the Barbarian, what is it? What am I trying to say? This is the second book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series, and it follows our hero Rahash, and Rahash is one of the big blue alien men that live on this planet, and it's supposed to be his romance between the character Liz. I was excited to read this because I really enjoyed Liz's character in the first book. She's just like a side character, and this one was supposed to focus on her romance. She's kind of a smartass and kind of a spitfire, but she's also like really funny. And so I was super excited to read more about her, but she was so prickly oh my gosh, I actually felt so terrible for Rahash, the hero. To basically just briefly describe what this one is about, is that this takes place immediately after the events in the first book, where all of the women have acquired their kui. They call it a HOWDY, and basically it's this parasite, but it's not like a spooky, scary parasite. It's this parasite that these, women who have crashed on this planet. Oh. And yeah, so they have to like accept this parasite into their body, or else they'll die, because this planet, for one, the like gases in the atmosphere, the ladies are able, humans are able to breathe, but not for very long. There's like a toxin in the air, and it's also extremely cold. They call this planet Not Hoth. And basically, since these women are basically stranded here with no means of escape, they accept this parasite into their body simply so that they can, live on this planet. It's a symbiotic relationship. And so Liz takes her, little kui, and Rahash, who we didn't know in the first book, but Rahash actually realized that Liz is his mate, which is sort of funny because this is definitely a grumpy romance, and Rahash and Liz, based on like the week that they've known each other and been interacting with each other, they don't like each other. Or so Liz thought. Rahash is, he realizes that she's actually his mate, and after Liz has this kui, he basically kidnaps her and like runs away with her away from the group. And yeah, so yeah, definitely kidnapping in this. But this book, like, even though it has kidnapping in it, like it's pretty light, like lighthearted. But yeah, I did not like this. I was tolerating like the majority of the book, because in this, most of the conflict that arises, it is because of like lack of communication. Well, for one, it is definitely wrong that like Rahash literally just like yanked her and then like ran away with her. But it's revealed that he kind of has his reasons about why that happens, because he's also a bit of like a loner, and he doesn't really engage with like the tribe camp and the other like native alien species on this planet very often. He's a bit of a recluse. And so yeah, it's kind of revealed why he did that. And Liz is just, she was so prickly. Like, for most of this book, Liz believes that Rahash doesn't understand English, so there's a bit of like a language barrier, but Rahash actually is able to understand English, so he's able to hear her just say these like awful, mean things to him. She'll even like, talk to him and say mean things to him, like to his face, thinking that he doesn't understand her. And that just made me like so mad, and it really gave me the ick. The main reason why I DNF'd this book at 80% is actually because of the third act conflict. I was tolerating the book for the most part, and I was gonna rate it probably like a 3-star. But then that third act conflict, y'all. The third act conflict didn't really make any sense to me. It felt out of character for a lot of the other like side characters. Even like it was so out of left field to me that the decisions that other characters were making, those decisions were impacting how I felt about those characters in previous books. Like, I was starting to like hate them, and I was like, why is this happening? And yeah, I just couldn't bother with it. I DNF'd it. If I was to give it a rating, it would be like a 1 to 2 star, honestly. Made me so mad. And it's also freaking tragic, because look how fucking gorgeous this cover is. Excuse my French, but geez. Am I gonna keep reading the freaking rest of the series? Of course I am. I loved the first book in this series. And yeah, just because I didn't like this one, there's plenty more that I can read, so I'm not gonna like give up on it. Alright, and then the second book that I read was Sign Here for Horns by V.K. Ludwig. This is my first V.K. Ludwig. I got this in a Renegade Romance box, and instead of reading like a really thick book by this author, I decided that this would be like a good, you know, first, what am I trying to say? I figured this would be just like a good way to start reading this author, because this is basically like what, novella length. It's pretty short. And yeah, here's also some cool art. This is very obviously like a cut off print of something that's not safe for work. But yeah, this is what the hero looks like. And y'all, to describe this book, I'm just gonna read the back of it. I accidentally bought myself an alien concubine. 30, recently divorced and behind on the mortgage for my farm, I scrape my last savings together and buy myself a farmhand. That big horned alien I end up with, he's a Vandalier Psyche. I don't actually know how that word's pronounced, but it's an alien word, so does it really matter? But yeah, he's a Vandalier Psyche, a male concubine, and he wants to plow more than just my fields. Guess I should have read the fine print of the purchase contract better, because the trader refuses to take him back. Now I'm stuck with weed-infested fields, red letters from the bank, and a guy who says he studied 1,000,000 ways to please a female. His words. It's not like I'm going to count. Sign Here for Horns is the first book in the Vandalar Concubine series, featuring aliens trained to cook, clean, and please their female in whichever way she desires. Or not. They're men after all. Yeah, that intro is like, or not intro, that description is like kind of silly. And honestly, this is a rom-com. This is technically an alien rom-com. And I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. It was surprisingly funny. Like, I was like genuinely laughing during parts of this book. The dialogue is just hilarious. I was really nervous going into this because obviously this deals with some heavy topics, even though like his alien race is like, they are concubines and it's really common for males of their alien race to be concubines. The hero in this was very much caught up in some sort of like sex trafficking scam. And so I was like obviously like really nervous going into this because like slavery and forced sex work. But yeah, like once I started getting into it, I was like, oh, okay, this situation kind of makes sense. I really love this also because I think that the heroine in this, I already forgot her name. The heroine in this, I feel like she's the very like, it's like Grumpy Sunshine and she's the grumpy. She's kind of like gruff and rough around the edges. And our hero, he honestly just truly wants to like make sure that she's happy. It was also, yeah, it was pretty like lighthearted. All of the conflict, again, it goes back to like a lack of communication between the hero and heroine. But in this instance, it actually kind of like made sense. And so I wasn't too mad about it. And also it's like the lack of communication is also what made this really funny to me. It was also super duper steamy. Like for a little novella, this has tons of smut in it. But yeah, so this is like a little series too, so now I can read more about these Vandalar concubines. And yeah, I am excited to read more by this author. I have like a full like non-novella book by her too that I would that I'm excited to get to in the future. But yeah, I only read 2 books this week so far, and it is Thursday. However, I forgot that my niece is coming this weekend, and she's actually coming tomorrow, and it's Friday. Leia! Oh my god, Leia, you're so cute! Sorry. My dog Leia is like so hyper, and she's trying to play with my cat. But yeah, so I want to read one more alien romance before I end this vlog. So I forgot I forgot what this book's called. I really want to read the next book in Regine Abel's Primating Agency series. I have loved almost every book in this series. Like, all of them have been, like, I think at least a 4.5 star or higher. And yeah, she just recently released like the very last book in this series. And I still have like another one that I need to read before I get to that one. And yeah, I don't know why I haven't picked it up, because it is one of my favorite alien romance series. I don't know. But yeah, I really want to read, I think it's called I Married a Dragon. I honestly don't have any idea what this one's about. But yeah, I'm going to try and start it tonight. If not, I will start it tomorrow at work, and then immediately after work I will talk about it and then close this vlog up. Hey, I'm here to finally end the vlog. It's Monday, and yeah, my niece came over. We had a good time. We kind of just hung around my house. Yeah, not much to say. I kind of felt bad because on Sunday I really didn't feel good. So I was going to take her out to like a couple places, but then I couldn't do much. As you can tell today, I'm super low energy, and that's because yesterday I finally had my tattoo appointment. As you can tell, it's super swollen right now. But yeah, that's basically what I did. And I also finished I Married a Dragon by Regine Abel. Y'all, this was my first 5-star read of the year. Not quite 6-star. This isn't, I don't know. How do I say this? It's not, is it my favorite book in the series? I don't know. It's not like all-time super amazing 6-star read, but 5 stars is still like a really obviously high rating, and I freaking loved this book. Yes. So to briefly describe what this book is about, this is a part of the Primating Agency series, so each book follows a different couple. And this follows our heroine named Kada, and I forgot what it's called. I think it's called the UPO or something like that. And it's basically like this galactic federation, and she is essentially like what I would call like a stormtrooper. Like, she's one of the basically like officers for this galactic federation. And while on duty, Kada, along with some other officers, are trying to take out these really scary, like, interdimensional beasts. Basically, these scientists were messing around with some stuff that they shouldn't, and it opened up this rift. And so, like, literally they opened, like, a portal, and these entities from what they call the void started spilling out and killing everyone. And so as these, officers, including Kada, are like trying to take him out and, fix the situation, this massive freaking dragon just comes out of this rift. It quickly becomes like a thing where, Kada knows not to attack this dragon because she's quickly told that this is like a really rare alien species. Not to kill him. He's like basically like a good guy, and he's trying to like kill these monsters as well. And it turns out a bunch of stuff happens, and this very quickly turns into like a marriage of convenience between Kada, our heroine, and our dragon alien hero named Cedric. I can't remember what his race is called, but basically Cedric is like a part of this alien race where they're essentially like dragons, but they're really cool because they're dragons that live in like the void. I don't know how to explain it. Basically, they're like dragons that can kind of like travel through different dimensions and whatnot. And Cedric is very special because he's one of the few of his race that has these very specific abilities. Basically, he can like freely travel, like the astral plane. He can go anywhere in the universe. He can just make portals plop up wherever he wants. And yeah, the downside to his abilities is that he's basically like kind of like chronically ill. And whenever he uses his abilities, it's like extremely painful, and he develops like this sickness that takes a really, really long time to recover from. And the reason why this turns into a marriage of convenience is because Cedric realizes that Kata is actually his Njaya. And Njaya are basically like, they're almost like soulmates to these dragons. They're basically like soulmates in a way to these dragon shifters. They're able, just like by being in the presence of these dragons that have these special abilities, they're able to like soothe, you know, their nervous system. They're able to like help them heal a lot faster. And yeah, it's kind of like a weird thing because there's never been a human or any other race that has been an Njaya. Kata is kind of, she's not necessarily like forced into the situation. Leia's here, y'all. But she's not really forced into the situation, but kind of, sort of, not by Cedric. Basically, the Galactic Federation. Oh my goodness, Leia, how am I supposed to talk about these books if you're shoving your whole head in the picture frame or camera frame? Oh my god, what am I trying to say? Galactic Federation. They're having Kata get into like a marriage of convenience with Cedric because since the scientists were able to open this rift that they really shouldn't have, there's some sort of like mystery plot involving possibly like someone somehow smuggling these like precious stones from this like dragon realm into like the solar system that the story takes place in, you know? And it's basically like illegal goods that are like very dangerous, and anyone besides the dragon people should not be handling them. And so, yeah, Kata enters into this marriage of convenience with Cedric, not only because she is the dragon's, like, Njaya, but because she's kind of there to help solve this mystery and try to catch people that are smuggling these stones. Y'all, Cedric is so cute. He's probably my new favorite hero in this series. You know, Cedric is like this terrifying dragon entity. He has like an actual dragon form, and then in his like alien form, he looks a little bit more humanoid, but not really. And he, because of his abilities, he's been basically secluded from a lot of people and lived in isolation because just being in the presence of like other dragons makes him physically ill because of his abilities. It's really, really hard for me to explain the like science fiction aspect of this book, but Regine Abel does a good job. So, and yeah, so Cedric is extremely socially awkward, and he's also very, very shy. He's super excited that he's found Kata, but he's also like really nervous because he knows that she's been basically kind of forced into this, but he like genuinely wants to like treat her well and whatnot. And Kata is such like an awesome heroine. I thought this was gonna be like a Grumpy Sunshine where the heroine was gonna be grumpy, or where like Kata was gonna be grumpy and then Cedric was going to be the sunshine. But it's really not the case. Kata's, you know, she's this super tough heroine. She can take care of herself. I mean, she's like an officer. She's constantly kicking bad guys' butts. But she's actually like very soft, and even though she's like super nervous about like living with these dragons and like having to be an Anjaya for Cedric, she's really open to like being his caregiver and learning about his culture and also just like getting to know him in general. She's very like tough on the outside, but very caring and sweet on the inside. So like their relationship dynamic was just so fun. There were so many like moments in this book where I would just like squeal because it was so funny and cute, these like weird awkward moments between her and Cedric. It was very heartwarming. Um and yeah, I don't know. I just really loved it. I want to say that this is my new favorite in the series. I don't know if I would give it like a 6 star, but it is definitely a 5 star. This one and I Married a Birdman are definitely my tops in this series, but I've loved basically like all of them. Regine Abel is so good at packing in like these like really amazing like science fiction concepts. You get all of this like cool world lore with the different planets, and then also like alien lore with different alien species in each book. But these books are really short. Like I use Kindle Unlimited, and so on the Kindle, the average read time for these books is only like 5 hours or something. Like I don't know if I would consider them novellas, but they're super short reads, but they're jam packed with so much cool stuff. And the romance in this series is so top tier. It is definitely pretty saucy and smutty, but if you're looking for like a read where it's purely just for the smut, I wouldn't like say pick up this series or this book, because this is definitely like a sweet slow burn. We don't get our first spicy scene until like, I don't know, the 66% mark of the novella, or not the novella, of the book. And I mean, there's like some petting and foreplay and other stuff, but like, you know, that, yeah, we don't get that till like 66% of the book. But honestly, I don't care. I love this series. I loved this book. This was my first 5 star of the read. And I'm super sad because there's only one more book in this series. I think it's called I Married a Beast. Yeah, and then I'm done with it. I know Regine Abel has like a really big backlist though, so I mean I'm like excited to check out her other works as well. But yeah, that's what I read. I read 3 alien romances. One of them was a dud, one of them was fun and great, and then the last one I read was amazing. And yeah, I've really enjoyed what I read. Is this a weekly reading vlog, or is this a weekly reading wrap up? I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to try and start posting more booktube and bookish content. But yeah, I'm going to end this here. Thanks for watching, guys, especially if you got this far. Considering, I mean, this vlog might be kind of long, but I don't know. But yeah, if you made it this far, go ahead and leave me some sort of like alien themed emoji, whether that's like a spaceship or the UFO or like the actual alien. I don't care, it's whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.